continue with this setting up of a website. So, what do you mean by setting up of a website? See, you have when you try to register your domain names. Now, when you go to GoDaddy and search, for example, okay, we'll just go to the browser itself. Okay, I have opened GoDaddy. Now, see here, they are showing you the prices, okay, for these particular domain name extensions. For .in it is 149, for work it is 146, and so on. Now, what is happening is, since all these businesses, majority of them are turning online, you may want to access a particular website, okay. You have thought of a particular name, like we'll go for the example of now Gopte BCA. We'll try to search a particular domain name. Can some of you suggest me for a domain name for your branch and for the college? Think a little. If you wanted to have a website for your college, what would it be? Yes, I'm waiting for inputs. Omkar Deshpande, roll number 709. Prajwal, tell me
Yes, ma'am.
websites. Tell me websites. Tell me of one name for your college. If the task was given to you to have a website for your college, what would it be? What would be the URL? So much time you need to think. I'm not asking you to develop. Let us see if this name is available. See, it is available there. It is showing you. .com is available at 199 and goptebca.in is available at 149. Okay, so it means that I can have this particular website name. It is also showing you popular in India. Now this server, if at all I happen to search, let us assume that I need to open for shopping e-commerce site itself. Okay, even I will come up with the same name. I'll say flipkart.in. Let us check if this URL is available. Have a look here what message it is giving you. Flipkart.in is taken. So what is this server trying to tell? It is saying that if you want to start a business with this particular website name, then it won't be possible because already somebody has taken this. And we know that Flipkart e-commerce site has the same website name. So it will give you suggestions here again. See the different kinds of suggestions that it is giving. So these are the suggestions that your web server will give. So by setting up of a website, we mean that we need to understand our website URL. Then we need to understand what tables we need to create for a particular website. Then what fields will be there, how to set up the database, then how many admins are going to be there, do we require any email service set up there, So that is what comes under setting up of a website. The next thing is design a website. So what is design a website? We are talking about websites, which means it is going to include textual documents, it is going to include images, videos, and it could have, maybe it could have forms wherein user input is required. So how are you going to make your website look colorful to the user? So that is what comes under designing of the website, trying to place the images properly, placing the text properly, and making your website or the web pages visually attractive to the user. The next step, add content to website. So any website will definitely not have only textual content, or will not have only images, or is not going to have only videos. It is going to be a combination of these things. So understanding how it has to be placed properly, where it has to be placed, on which particular web page you need to place the content. Like, can you tell me for a website, can you name what could be the web pages? A very basic website, what could be the web pages? You must have visited so many websites. Adding content to the website. See, a website is going to be made up of textual things, textual, text. It is going to be made up of images and videos. And also user interactive widgets will be there. Like, say a contact form is there wherein you enter your name, email, and have the submit button. So placing the contents properly on the website is important. Adding contents to the website is important. There is not going to be a website wherein you find only images in the website and there is no textual document. That will not make sense to the user. Only having a look at the images or only watching the videos. There has to be some content also. Now, can you consider a basic website and tell me what are the pages that a website has? Have you come across the home page? Have you come across about us, contact, services? Have you observed these tabs on the any website?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what are you expecting in the content? What comes under the home tab? What comes under the contact page? See, in the home tab, they will give you, say, a brief introduction about their website, right? Or the company. And in the contact page, as a user, we would expect that the form related to contact would be there. How to contact them? Maybe they have given their business number, they have given the location there. So these things, these contents need to be placed properly there. So adding this content in their respective tabs is important when you try to develop a website. So this is again one important step here, adding content to the website. Next is customizations and tweaks. So what do we mean by tweaks? Tweaks is improvement. Customizations is trying to, if you have trying to develop a website for just a particular business, that is just for one particular user, so you need to customize the website according to his workflow. Maybe he does not want to add the tab their services. He is not providing any service, it is just a static website, and he does not want a contact page. So that is what is customizing, trying to make it user friendly as the user wants. Tweaks is improvements. So as and how you slowly start building your websites, you will certainly make improvements in it. You have to go on refining the process of developing your website. So towards the end, your website is without any errors and without any bugs. So the next point tells you to check for bugs and errors. So what you tell me, what could be bugs and errors? You have used these terms so many times up till your sixth semester. You have also accessed so many websites. So what could be bugs and errors in a website? Please answer. I am not going to continue if you people don't answer. I don't want it to be one-sided. It will be like last time's Python class. Just I will be talking and you people are not responding at all. Tell me, what do you expect when it comes for checking bugs and errors on the website? What do you mean by this? What are bugs and errors? Let me call out the roll numbers. If you people are not going to answer, Aniket Vadkar 682.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what could be bugs and errors on the website.
Bugs are the problems or the coding error.
Okay, when have you faced any problems when accessing any particular website?
Yes, ma'am. 404,
Okay.
501,
What does 404 stand for?
page not found.
501.
Restricted authorization, I think.
Network error basically. Then what
Yeah.
else? Ashwini Kangalkar 684.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me some of the bugs or errors, or you tell me the problems that you faced when accessing any particular website.
Something page not found.
I don't repeat. He's already told that.
Or
Have you people never accessed any website? Or have you never faced any problems itself while accessing the website?
Busy server, ma'am.
Busy server. Where did you face the problem?
I'm like scholarships
While
websites.
checking for result.
Yes. For result, while checking for result.
Also, when the confirmation is like we need to confirm something
Yes.
that we are human and
Yes.
the captcha doesn't load.
Yes, I was waiting for this. See, you must have accessed certain websites now wherein it will ask you for a tick mark that you are not a robot. It will ask you to enter the captcha image that is there. So sometimes you need to keep these things in mind, what kind of a website you are developing. Simply do not put unnecessary things which tend to see here bugs and errors. I'm not talking technically because we are still into the basic part of how to develop or how to build a website. So when we say bugs and errors, no doubt it will mean technically you're finding for the errors there, finding for logical or syntactical errors, which should not be displayed to the user. But you also need to check at the very ground level that if your website has totally irrelevant or unnecessary data, wherein you are asking the user to enter captcha simply for logging in, and there is no such requirement. So all these things and improvements have to be done in the customization and tweaks and checking for bugs and errors. And the last part is once you have completed these things, you will have to deploy it. That is, host it, put it live for users access. Deploy means putting it for deployment, putting it into use. So these are the steps on how to build a website. Next thing we have is web content authoring. Okay, let me just, okay. So what is web content authoring? It is basically we are trying to add our content to the website. So whenever we decide to create a website, first we need to classify and understand how many pages does a website require. Like I said, home tab, or you have about us, services, products, contact us. So these are basic level. So whenever you create these pages, for each page, what content do you need to add to your website? That is what is web content authoring. Web content authoring is the process of creating page level content for your websites. Web content authoring comprises of the following activities. So what does it have? It has defining the content records that populate the content areas of your web pages, optionally using workflow and easy edit features to help with this task. Now you should make sure that you do not display any wrong content in the wrong page. Like when the user clicks by default for any website, the home page will be opened. So in the home page, the contact form should not come, the location should not come. It should be in the relevant pages. Also, there are certain uh, softwares, ready-made tools available. for managing your contents so that you are able to easily edit those contents and features. Those are called as authoring tools. So they will help you to manage your content easily on your websites. Then you need to understand the workflow. That is how you will be able to put the content also in proper sequence. Next, managing images that you use in your content. So one thing here is all the images that are there in your website should be of the same size. It should not be like one image is small, one image is too big, and they are of proper definitions. Like it should not be blur when the user tries to access it on laptops and when he accesses on the mobile. That content should not go out of screen. So that understanding this thing is important. Now, like you go to the site here, if you have to open, let us go to Flipkart only and let us check there. Now you have this slider here, this top portion. I am having a slider here wherein I am able to navigate. That is, I can move these images. Okay, they are basically images that are getting loaded. But have a look at the width and this height and the width of this particular images. All these images are of the same size. It is not that one image is getting over halfway here and this portion is blank. It is not like that. All these images are of the same size. So here also you observe they have properly placed, proper spacing, proper gaps are there here in between, and they have seen to it that the images are of same resolution and of the same pixel size. So these all such things for managing these things, you have ready-made softwares now, and these softwares that help you to manage these contents are called as authoring tools. The last point tells you that any software or collection of software components that authors can use to create or modify the web content is called as authoring tool. So what do these authoring tools allow us to do? They allow us to publish web content which are read by people all over the world and maybe in many different languages, also on different computers and with different operating systems, whether it is Linux, it should be compatible. Again, your website should be compatible for any kind of a system with different input and output devices. By input and output, we mean that there could be users who are visually impaired. They will not give the input through the keyboard. They will be making use of voice messages. So these tools help you to develop such kind of a content which are accessible by users, all range of users and all on all kind of systems. Then we have certain examples of these authoring tools. Basically, you must have heard of CMS. CMS stands for Content Management System. How the content should be managed on your websites. So any authoring tools covers any software which is used to write the web from enterprise content management. That is, we're talking about large contents on the websites or on the servers, even to small microblogging mobile apps. If you have, see on apps, usually mobile apps, the content is very less. When you compare the it on the website, the content is going to be too much. So if you talk about mobile apps, they just have widgets and buttons, and everything is understood through those buttons itself and through just small messages or like small toast that you had in Android, wherein everything message or those pop-ups will be very, very small and the content is small. So such tools will help you to manage from a wide end data managing content to a small even managing content on your mobile phones or mobile apps. Then examples are given to you here in the third point here. Which are the content authoring tools? You have WISI, which stands for what you see is what you get, HTML editors. So these are basically Notepad, Notepad++. You have again Micromedia. So these softwares are basically where you make use of only HTML editors. HTML is such a language that the moment you try to run that code, you will get to see the exact effect. What you do is what you see is what you get there. So that is the work of HTML editors. Next, you have Articulate Storyline, then you have Composica, then you have Adobe Authorware and Camtasia. So these are some of the web authoring tools that are available. So with the help of these authoring tools, web content authoring tools, you can update social media profiles which are there on Facebook, Instagram. Then you have various microblogging sites, then photo, video editors, sharings. So all these web content authoring tools are helpful there. And these softwares for directly editing source code or markup. Like I mentioned a software called as Micromedia. There you have, even you take your Android Studio there, you have two kinds of interfaces where you drag and drop. One more where the source code can be edited, that is hard coding can be done. The same way even for web, in that Micromedia you have the design view, you also have the source code where you can manually edit it, where HTML code is already present. So these are some of the examples of authoring tools. So that's it for today. You can drop your attendance. You have any discussions to be done or any doubts, you can ask. There was a lot of interruption today due to internet and power supply problems. So any part which is not heard from your side, you can ask me to repeat.